there's still a lot of earnings growth potential available within the Magnificent Seven companies, but also importantly, the 493 companies that are not the Magnificent Seven, we anticipate earnings growth from them as well. And so we think that what we're going to see is a catch-up in the amount of earnings growth that you're getting from the rest of the market, and not necessarily that Magnificent Seven is going to fall down to zero. They're still going to have double-digit growth.
I do think that investors now are looking for how to play that same theme through other stocks where the valuations are slightly better. But again, given the strength of those companies, the earnings they sit on, and also the outlook for them, it's very hard to say that they've peaked, basically.
Inflection in growth across the world. So exports are increasing in emerging markets. Domestic markets are very healthy and consumption is high, and GDP growth is above trend across the world. There's a possibility, there's still quite a lot of uncertainty about his policy. I think the most important thing to say about the tariffs and what he said so far during his campaign is that he's a negotiator and he's using, but is it the actual result, or does he use that as leverage to then and maybe walk back on what those actual tariffs are to get things in return is yet to be seen. So there's still some uncertainty around it.
But I think it's hard to say that right now we don't know exactly what the shape of those tariffs will look like, what goods will be in focus, that the market is very much reacting to a worst case scenario. And if none of that eventuates, or it doesn't eventuate to the same extent, then you could see a lot of the foreign money that's left Korea suddenly start to come back in, because the valuations of the market here are not challenging at all. And the earnings expectations are actually still relatively high.